program.
Welcome back. Things got completely out of control in the last segment. Some of you will be wondering, how did we get them under control? Did we use corporal punishment? The answer is yes, we did. Details to follow. But for now, we're going to ask a very simple question and receive crisp civil answers. And it's this. Last week, Thursday, I believe, you were involved in this, Congressman.
Yes.
The Attorney General of the United States, probably the second most powerful person in this country, was the first cabinet officer in American history to be held in contempt by Congress. Twice. Bipartisan vote. 17 Democrats first vote, 21 the second. Big deal, no?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Yes.
Of course it was. How did it play? Did it make front page USA Today, New York Times? No, it didn't. In the USA Today, it was on page 5. In the New York Times, it was A3. LA Times, A8. The New York Times digital versions didn't even have it in the day's news roundup. Why is that?
Well, clearly, to me, the answer is very simple. It's a liberal media bias that insulates this president from having to explain the truth to any American citizen about the things that go wrong in this government. If he's responsible, he deflects it.
I don't really see that there could be another explanation. I mean, it's not. Look, whether you agreed with it or not, and it's fair to disagree, it's always fair to disagree. You can't deny it's a huge story, right? No?
Exactly. And you know this, Tucker, when you have Media Matters having weekly strategy calls with the administration, a meeting with like Valerie Jarrett and Anita Dunn, doesn't it make you question a little bit? But it's not a surprise, is it? It's not a surprise. We know that they're very tight with the media, and we know that the media is going to protect them and feed certain stories on the front page. And if I find it very hard to believe that if George Bush, if this had been happening with Gonzalez, everybody knows about Alberto Gonzalez.
That's true. And yet, having covered Clinton's impeachment, Clinton was a liberal Democrat, beloved by the media, and yet when he got in trouble, boy, they were on him. I mean, they were, in all fairness.
Right.
The liberal media
that's
took off after
That's their agenda.
But I have to say, this president seems immune from the scrutiny of the press. Doesn't he, Miss Holder?
Am I allowed to speak now?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. You're talking about deflection of the president when the president has never, ever been proven to have any relationship with Fast and Furious whatsoever. There is a separation between this issue that your mall cop wants to have with Eric Holder and the president. And just to mix the two, you want to mislead the American public, and the conservatives want to mislead the American public, that the job of the attorney general is the same thing as the job of the president. And they're two totally separate jobs, and they are two totally separate privileges of confidentiality. And going back to my earlier argument about who these people are, I am sad that Brian Terry was killed. I am sad that every person on any border in Afghanistan, Iraq, or on the Mexican border was killed by people who were trying to infiltrate and kill Americans. But I would like to know about all of the people who were killed, not just Brian Terry. And that's the problem that I have, that you're using his name as a message to get some political agenda across the American people.
May I ask, why is it illegitimate to point out the facts of the case, which are the U.S. government under Barack Obama gave guns to Mexican drug cartels?
And so did Bush.
But they tracked them with Bush.
No,
and
but no one is
Obama
denying that. Wait, but hold on. Is that really the point? The point is the sitting president oversaw this. Why shouldn't we know more about it? Why shouldn't we know everything about how this happened so it won't happen again?
Because the same thing with Abu Ghraib. There were photos that the administration believed would affect the Americans overseas, that would affect our soldiers. And we do not want to put our soldiers or our Americans or our people on the border at harm's way with the cartel or whomever is on the border. There are certain things that are secret to our government that are in the best interest of the American people.
Congressman, do you believe that this administration is keeping these documents, thousands of pages of documents, secret for our own good and for national security reasons?
Absolutely not. There's no doubt.
Do you think that's kind of an insane suggestion?
I would say it borders on insanity. Here's what I would say, though, that if you think about the fact that the federal government provided guns to drug cartels in Mexico, killed Mexicans, killed a Border Patrol agent. He asserts an executive privilege, basically protecting Eric Holder, and says, I have no knowledge of what's going on, basically is what we hear out in the public forum. The challenge is, why would you assert executive privilege for something that you have no knowledge about? I don't understand.
That's almost like a Zen
sense.
cone. That's like the sound of one hand clapping. That may be the unanswerable question.
Doesn't make sense.
Mary, I want to get I want to get to the Supreme Court decision, also the big news from last week. What you saw in the aftermath of that was an immediate drop in public confidence in the Supreme Court.
Sure.
Warranted.
Well, to be fair, I think that if they had ruled the other way, you would also see a drop in confidence in the Supreme Court, but by a whole different group of people. I think truly believe that no matter which way they ruled on that, there was one group or the other was going to be severely disappointed with the Supreme Court because it wasn't going to go somebody's way. So somebody wasn't going to be happy. But what I would like to say is I do think that the right handled it well. They didn't denigrate the Supreme Court and say, oh, it's an activist court. They didn't launch this media offensive to discredit the court. And I think had the decision gone the other way, I think we would have seen that media blitz discrediting
that blitz
the
already
Supreme
begun
Court.
Preemptively. Did you read the CBS piece that said that Chief Justice Roberts pays very close attention to news coverage, and the implication, of course, was that he might have been influenced by the attacks on the court by the left, and that those might have influenced his decision?
Right. Well, I think that I wouldn't want to believe that as an attorney, how juries are sequestered because they're not supposed to pay attention to media and to, their families and opinions of people outside of the courtroom. So I want to believe that the top people in our court, in our judicial system, aren't.
But isn't that the whole point of
influenced.
attacking John Roberts in the first place? So he would change his mind. When
But
you
I
saw the
don't wanna
president's
believe-
staff attack John Roberts, it worked apparently.
Well, I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe everything in the liberal media, the conservative media, whatever. At the end of the day, Tucker, I think that this is a very tragic time for America. We just learned today that manufacturing jobs are being outsourced overseas. We're hearing about these terrible opinions, all of these things that are going down in America, and it's tragic. Americans need to come together, come to the middle, and figure out a way to make ourselves the best in the world.
A bipartisan sentiment. Thank you all very much.
You.
We are out of time. Coming up, two of our nation's most powerful political groups have teamed up, the Tea Party and evangelicals. Find out how the two could affect the election in a big way. And then country legend Lee Greenwood joins Sean just in time for the 4th of July. That's coming up.